See, and it is followed by another question to the same effect. I think what we should do now about Nkandla is to allow institutions to deal with it and conclude it. That's what we can say. Because institutions are dealing with Nkandla, they must deal with that report and conclude it. That's what we should do. Then we must respect the institutions and give them space to deal with the issue. I think we've answered enough questions as the ANC about it. It is now issue of the institutions of the state. Whether it is the SIU, whether there will be cases referred to the Hawks, and all those things, let's leave it to the state now. I don't know whether it would have costed us vote in Gauteng and not cost us vote anywhere else. If it costs us vote, I would imagine it will apply across the board. It can't only be about Gauteng, except that if people whisper to you in Gauteng, say it has costed us vote, it doesn't become a reality. If it's costing us, it will have to cost us as the movement, not as a province. Are we concerned about Tshwane and Johannesburg? We're concerned about Tshwane and Johannesburg the same way as Nelson Mandela Metro. Yes, we'll be concerned about them because very marginal, others fall below the 50% mark. We'll have to go back and do an analysis of the results and say what should be done. That is the duty of a political party. Will we do a particular analysis of the Nelson Mandela Metro? We always do it. We will do it as we normally do. In the last elections, in the general election, it fell below 50%. In the local government election, it garnered a little bit more than 50%, lower 50% margins. We'll do that analysis. Shalapas Jackson. Shalapas. Okay. Shalapas Jackson. Shalapas. Will we appoint competent leaders? I don't know what competence means. I don't know what competence means. Can I tell you an example, Mamalus? There is a particular minister who is always criticized as mediocre, but the results point to the opposite direction. You know, one minister that I didn't want to be in her shoes during the last time was Angie in basic education. That woman has taken a matric result to point beyond 80% after the correction of the supplementary results, taken it to 80.8%. Nobody put the results there. But all the time, in terms of the eyes of the media and analysts, she was incompetent. That's why I say I don't understand what competence means. Because sometimes it is the love of a particular minister and the passionate hatred of a particular minister. So we'll appoint people according to their competence as we see it in the ANC. And we'll always monitor their performance on an ongoing basis. That's why in the last administration, we never shied away from cabinet reshuffles, because we do ongoing analysis of the performance of a particular ministry and a department, not particularly the individual, but that ministry and that department. How is it performing? Can we change the leadership there? Will it improve the performance? That's what we are going to continue doing. So the appointment of competent people is what we always strive for. I think Jackson answered the question of, will there be continuity? Again, never try to be an insider in the ANC and lobby for particular ministers. Don't do it. Because once you begin to lobby for particular ministers as the media, you are actually harming that minister. I told few journalists who always pandered certain ministers and phoned me, what about this minister? And I always tell them, please don't lobby for a minister because you are killing and denting that minister. Never pant for ministers. Allow them to be nominated and be appointed normally like any other ministry. That's why when they are planning stories in the media about how the structure of the cabinet will be, we read them. But I know I can tell you, when people plan stories about themselves to you and you write them, we see through that is somebody's X, Y, and Z who planned this story. He's actually panting for himself or herself. We see it through it. So when you do it, please don't do it in a deliberate way, because we see through that. We do our own analysis. We put all those articles, Malos, you put the City Press, you put the Independent, you put Sunday Times, you check. Oh, this is a planted story. It's in newspaper X. This person has planted the story. And you can see who the person is by just reading the story. So please don't talk for ministers, whether it is, you are dragged in because you are here, but there is a particular minister that they are interested in the economic cluster. Then they will throw other names to cover up of their preference of a particular minister. Don't do it. It doesn't work in real politics. Thank you.